Dr. Frank Morales, you not only have a good understanding of religion and spiritual aspects of Sanatana Dharma, you also done a lot of studies about the history, and you're also well conversant with the political scenario of India. Briefly talking about the measures that you think would help in achieving the objective that you consider as very dear to your heart. What would be your suggestions to people, and why should they consider that this is important?
Well, I'll deal with the last question first, actually. Why is it important? Spirituality is crucial for us as human beings. And we can see this just by looking at history. Throughout history, there has been no culture, no civilization, no small tribe even on earth that hasn't had spirituality in the center of everything they do. And in our present secular age, we can sometimes forget the importance of spirituality and how it feeds us internally. We need food as human beings. We know that. We need, liquid sustenance. We need water. We need air. We know this. But I would say that just as much as we need these physical things, we also need spirituality. The reason why is because in the same way that food and water and air nourish us physically, we also have an internal life. We also have spirit. We also have our consciousness. And that needs to be fed spiritually. So why is Sanatana Dharma important? It's because it is the most sophisticated, most profound way of doing precisely that, nourishing ourselves spiritually, and then by extension, nourishing all of society. Creating a society in which selfishness is not in the center, but rather love is. We live in very harsh times. We live in very harsh times, especially for people living in New York. We know that people can be very mean. People can be very self-centered, And what we want to create for our own benefit, for our children's benefit, is a society in which people are patient with one another, tolerant of one another, where instead of just thinking the worst immediately, we tend to try to think lovingly and compassionately toward others. Sanatana Dharma, more than any other spiritual path on earth, can teach us how to do this, and can give us personally personal happiness, but also can transform society. So this is certainly why it's of importance that we save Sanatana Dharma. As far as how it can be done, number one, the foundation is we ourselves need to practice it and experience it. If I can just say very quickly, I make a distinction between what I call nominal Hindus versus conscious Hindus. And the majority of Hindus, unfortunately, tend to be nominal Hindus. And what I mean by that is Hindu in name. There's no difficulty with many Hindus saying, oh, मैं Hindu हूँ, I am Hindu. And that's good, but that's not enough. It's not enough simply to identify with Hinduism. Rather, we need to become conscious Hindus. And what that means is quite literally embracing Hinduism and living it. So this is the foundation of saving Hindu spirituality. We have to manifest Hindu spirituality in our own lives. We need to practice it ourselves, and when we practice it, our children will follow. They will follow. And frankly, our children, I believe, are the salvation of Hinduism. But we need to teach it to them, not by badgering them, not by saying, stop being so Americanized. Don't worry about them being Americanized. The truth is, they're going to serve as a wonderful bridge between Western culture and Indian spirituality. If we want them to retain and hold tightly to Hindu spirituality, then we have to show them that by our own example. Then Sanatana Dharma will be saved and will thrive in the future.
Thank you very much, Dr. Frank Morales. It so happens that some speakers are so much deeply one with the subject that they are talking about, they kind of mesmerize you, and that's what Dr. Frank did with us today. It's interesting to hear him.